Hello and welcome to this special edition of The Alternative Exit, live from the Employee Ownership Conference in Telford in the UK. And this has been brought to you by EOT Expert by Christian Wilson. So just imagine you've sold your business to an EOT and are now happily retired, spending your tax incentivized money when HMRC or the taxman knocks on your door to ask for the full repayment of your capital gains tax due on the sale. A trust, which is a huge pain. I mean, a trustee at your old company has just resigned and the team innocently but improperly accepted the resignation, inadvertently triggered a disqualifying event. This is a nightmare scenario. The truth is, running an EOT is not simple. From appointing trustees to managing the trust registers to keeping on top of all the annual one-off filings. One small mistake can be painfully expensive. This is where EOT Expert by Christian Wilson step in. His EOT Assured service keeps you compliant and confident with clear guidelines, templates and tailored support, whether you need a one-off transaction, support or ongoing retainer. Christian can even help you set up compliant bonus structures to ensure that your staff are getting the rewards that they deserve. So if you're looking to make a transition to an EOT or already established an employee ownership trust that wants peace of mind and proper governance, reach out to Christian at eotexpert.co.uk for technical expertise that's reassuringly human. Hello everyone, welcome back to The Alternative Exit. It's still lunchtime here at the EOA conference in Telford. And we're very excited to have with us Andrew Lane from Union Industries. Andrew, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mate, I love it. Can you just tell us a little bit more about Union Industries and what's your role there?
Okay, so we're a manufacturing business in Yorkshire. We make the finest industrial high-speed doors in the world.
High-speed door?
High-speed. My sales director would kill me if I didn't say that. So if you buy food from a supermarket, it's been through one of our doors somewhere and it's like, it's that kind of market. It's invisible to you and I, but it's out there. So I'm managing director. I joined Union in 2014 to spearhead the transition into employee ownership.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So had you had much experience with employee ownership prior?
So that's a key question. So yeah, I did employee ownership in 2008, the first transition. It was rather less successful.
Okay.
Okay, so there were some issues around it, and but it's great, isn't it? Because you make all the mistakes, you learn what not to do, and then the next time around, you're a better person. That's how it worked for me.
Okay, what were the biggest mistakes?
Oh, biggest mistakes. So you've got to start from the right place.
Yeah.
So when you've got an owner that's looking to exit, and they're choosing employee ownership, why are they choosing it? And if the answer is tax-free money, it's probably not the right decision.
Yeah.
And the transition will be difficult because of it. And so if you start from there, and when we transitioned, we went into a meeting with the former owners.
Is this 2008?
No, this is
Union
2004. This is Union Industries.
Yeah.
And I've got my chest puffed out because I'm going to tell them that it's got to be all for the employees and nothing. They wanted to transition the business. They wanted their cash, but over 14 years.
14?
And he was 80. No, he wasn't. He was 78. He was.
My God, that's
14 years.
That's a rare.
All right. So all of a sudden, you know they're in it for the right reason.
Yeah,
so now
totally.
we work around. We've already paid them off. We did it years early because we wanted to.
Yeah.
Because they'd done a benevolent transaction that empowered their employees to be employee owners. It's only right that we get them the money while they've still got the life force to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Such a great story in hearing about that benevolence. So, look, you know, I think this probably leads to something you mentioned on stage. Like when you talk about that ownership culture you're trying to create. When it comes to bonus time, you have an even bonus structure.
We do.
Okay, so other people are doing it, sort of have a weighting by tenure, by the salaries that they've got. Why do you guys keep it level?
Well, we keep it level because at some point I stand up, at 3 points during the year, in front of the whole business, and I'll tell them how things are, what the challenges are, what the opportunities are. And in those kind of meetings, you're always saying, you know, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Well, we got to be. You can't be in it together, but I get more money than you do.
It makes
you know?
it tough, doesn't it?
It does. And, you know, people get paid for the job that they do.
Yeah.
And if everybody does their job well, the business generates wealth as a result of that, then we should share it, because that same amount of unit effort went in across the board.
Yeah.
And as a byproduct, this year, in fact, for the last 5 years, the person that's left our business with the most amount of pounds at bonus and dividend time is the forklift truck driver, because he pays the least. Yeah, he's our third biggest shareholder, and he pays the least tax. And I think that is brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what we're in it for. We're in it to share. And I tell you something else: the joy that I get from the stories that people tell me what they spent. This, let's call it a windfall. Yeah, they earned it, but it's a windfall.
It's a windfall. Yeah.
And there's some of it changes people's lives. It clears long-standing debts. It pays for holidays of a lifetime, new cars, obviously. But it's really interesting, and it just makes you feel proud to be a part of a system that can do that much good.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you talk about engaging 3 times a year, but you, I'm sure, like, to have these kind of results, you're making people feel employee ownership much more regularly than that. Like, every day they come in. Like, so what are some of the core things that you've implemented, and the team's implemented at Union Industries to really bring ownership to life?
Okay, so there's a couple of things. And the first, the easy one, is communication.
Yep.
We communicate a lot. So every single person in our business gets a financial output. We try and make it a little bit of fun for the week before's performance in terms of sales. We don't know profit yet because we haven't been through accounts, but we know sales by sales channel, orders, quotes, number of inquiries, a whole raft of stuff. There's a lot of numbers. If you don't like numbers, there's a bunch of graphs.
Yeah.
If you can't be bothered to read the graphs, we put a traffic light in the corner. If it's green, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
If it's amber, I will tell them why it's amber and what we need to do to make it green again.
Okay.
And so that is the fundamental part. Now, we're about 85 people or so.
Yeah.
But I walk at least once a week and speak to everybody that I can. Those that don't run off and hide in the toilets as I walk past. It happens. Because I want to communicate to them my passion.
Yeah.
Because when you're at the end of this, you're a shop floor worker, as we have, or a fabricator welding all day, how does it stay real for you?
Yeah.
It's only real when I come and speak to you. And sometimes they run away because in their previous businesses, if a boss came to see you, it's bad news.
You're in trouble.
So that's how we do it.
Okay.
Keep it alive.
Now, look, some people, I love how you broke down the numbers, right? So numbers, pictures, traffic lights, but still takes people a little bit of education on what to do with those numbers. I mean, how much time do you educate people on finances and other elements to really bring that to life?
Well, so it's an iterative process. Every financial update meeting which we have, which is in May, which will talk about the previous full year's performance. We have an AGM usually in October, and then another meeting that floats around the year. We tell people what the numbers mean. So when you're looking at a graph and it goes flat, we'll stop at that point, and then we'll bring out some pictures or some diagrams that says why that was flat, so that people can connect what they do with how the business performs. Now, that's a double-edged sword, because if we go quiet, and we went quiet just before budget because people weren't spending money, everybody already knows this. So my walk rounds are, when's it going to get busy? You know,
What's the sales team doing? What are we doing?
Exactly. So it's a creative tension. And I can answer those questions. And if I couldn't, then I shouldn't be leading an EO business.
Yeah.
We've got to be honest. We've got to be transparent. They've got to be brave enough as owners to take news, good, bad, or indifferent, process it, and then listen to, this is what we're doing. This is the action that follows this issue. That's how we'll make it work.
Awesome. So in the examples you just gave there, you talked about a lot of the action coming from you. How do you encourage your work, like the team there, to take that data and actually and create that action themselves?
So some people aren't particularly disposed to numbers, right?
Yep.
You know, we know that. So you talk to them in the language that they understand, that allows them to connect to this. And then they talk to their people that way. So if you're the manager and I go straight past you into your people, then they ask you. So you really need to learn out how to read this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So there's an iterative process in getting people to understand what the numbers mean, and for the leadership team to understand how to deliver those numbers to people to make it meaningful.
Yep. So they've made it meaningful. They understand the numbers. These people are engaging with it. They know when they're pushing this, they're moving their widget, it's going a little bit faster. They know what that's going to do. How do you empower them to come up with ideas to improve the performance within their sphere of control? Or if they've got an idea of sort of potential new sales channel or something, how do you enable them to bring those ideas forward?
Now, so this is difficult. So we've tried a whole bunch of different ways. So in our courtyard, which is right in a cobbled courtyard in the centre of the office, it's got a fountain, it's got trees going out the floor. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But in there is a tin bath. It's got a lid welded on it and a slot in it. And that's a Eureka bath. And people can put ideas into the Eureka bath, right?
Yeah.
So that was idea one. Let's do this. And it was full. And then you go through all this stuff and most of it just won't work. Not in the real world.
Yeah.
So then you can't just ignore it. You've got to go back to the person that raised it. And you go through this thing. And so that just flooded us.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do was to be more targeted. So we go to the people and we say, how's it going? And say, well, this machine's a bit slow. Is it? Why is it slow? And if you use questions rather than statements, they start to give you the answers. They get used to that. And then you'll get people knocking on my door saying, how come we're spending all this money on a fuel card when actually there's another fuel card that's cheaper? And the fuel card isn't that person's job, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you very much. I'll take that on. And so it's kind of, it's embedded in the culture to ask questions or don't go with a problem that doesn't have a matching solution. So my machine's slow. So what I'm going to do is join these two tables together and and that works. It's not utopian. Don't let me, I don't want to project that it's perfect. It isn't. It takes work and maintaining it takes effort.
Yeah.
But the payback is just enormous for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that a lot of that time that the increased agency and people coming in forward, actually sort of contributing and their voice being heard, it's got to do wonders for sort of the employee engagement and how they're feeling every day.
Yeah. But there's a model that says you won't get everybody. So if you've got 100% employees, 20% will be evangelists. They'll love employee ownership. They'll wear badges. They'll rah, rah, rah. Yeah. The 60%, they will appreciate being part of an EO business because it's good for them, but they don't like to get too involved in it because it might be a bit difficult. And then you've got 20% at the back, really don't care, right? So what's your first reaction? Where are you going to concentrate your efforts?
Well, the people who love it.
Excellent. We didn't. We concentrated the people at the back because I felt they're missing the point.
Yeah.
I can convert them. You can't. Yeah. You're right. Concentrate on the 20, involve the 60, and you'll do well. Yeah. So our engagement doesn't extend across the whole business. There are little pockets of people that they work hard, and you need hard workers. They don't want to be involved. They don't want to use any intellectual capital or brain power, and no amount of interest is going to change that. So we just accept it.
Yeah, I'm sure also it goes in, like, it's an ebbs and flows for people. Some people might have sort of really hectic home life at that point in time. Before we go into that 20%, they've got a little bit more mental capacity, might move up into the top 20. Yeah, okay. All right. I love that flexibility of giving them those options. What's one of the most surprising things that you've seen or inspiring things you've seen from one of your employee owners in terms of whether it's an idea or an action or how they've collaborated with someone?
So I'll give you a real life example. It happened 2 weeks ago, and a guy came to me and said, look, I've been out and seen a lot of our doors at customer sites, and a lot of them are really scruffy because they haven't cleaned them, they haven't done this sort of the other. Why don't we launch like a program to get people to change these? I won't get the technicalities of it. Change this bit of the door, and it'll look like new. And I said, okay, so how would we do that? He said, well, we'll do a flyer. I said, okay. let's do a flyer. By the way, you're doing the flyer because, you know, we've got a branding company we work with. I put them in touch. And this guy is a guy that sort of runs the quoting part of the service division. So he's got no exposure to marketing. No. So he did that, and then he wrote some copy, and then he kept coming to me and saying, what do you think? I said, I think if you like it, it's good enough. We put it out, we put it into LinkedIn, and it sold, oh, I don't know, 20, 30,000 pounds in 3 weeks. And you just think, and this is this guy doing it.
Yeah.
And so that is the reality of, they need a little bit of a nudge because they'd much rather you did it.
Yeah.
But if you make it their role, and now what he's got is all of that, you know, joy that he made a difference. He'll tell his wife, he'll tell his friends down the pub, everybody will be happy as a result.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal story. I love that. So you obviously talked about coming out of a failed EO implementation. You're coming into this one. What have you seen as the biggest, and by all accounts, it sounds like this one's going well.
Yeah.
What have you seen as the biggest impact of the business post that transaction in terms of the change between the non-EO to the EO?
Okay, so the change is in realization of the power of people.
Yeah.
So in the old EO structure at Union, in the old structure, there were two owners, a husband and a wife team. And the wife was the sort of, she was the stability, the cautious one. She wanted to understand everything. She ground all the details really small.
Yeah.
And they wanted to protect the business from bad news. Why, you know, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Tell them everything's working well. But she wanted to be sure that everything was right. So she then didn't realize it became the bottleneck.
Yeah.
And so when EO took over, I'm not a detail guy. You know, I'm a big picture person. So the detail, push it to the people that need to do detail, and do the big picture stuff. And it, without changing anything else, the business just took a step change.
Wow.
And has continued to leap forward, and absolutely blessed the pair of our former owners. They didn't say, no, you need to go and grind detail. They let us run with it, and they've seen the advantages. And there is a time for a different structure. Their structure, I mean, they invented the business, it came from nothing.
Yeah.
So there was a time to grind small. That was their time, and they did it brilliantly. And they got this from a shed in the back of Leeds to a beautiful building that had been fully renovated and a world-class name. That was a time for us to come in. We couldn't have done what they did.
Yeah.
And there'll be a time in the future for a new team to come in and push us yet further into the future. So it's knowing your place.
I love that. That's awesome. So I want to be really respectful of your time. I just grabbed you off the conference room floor, which is great.
It's been a pleasure, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But before I go, I like to ask everyone 3 quick questions. You ready?
Oh, God, gone.
Okay. Who is the leader that you most admire in employee ownership?
Oh, that's a good question. There are a lot of great people.
Yeah.
The one that taught me the most, a guy called Dave Routledge, and I went to a conference that he was speaking at. That was run by Carol Leslie, another EO advocate, and somebody I deeply admire. But Dave told me this, remember the 20-60-20? He taught me that.
Okay.
And that has just stuck in my mind, so I don't beat myself up when I've got 20 people that don't work.
Awesome. Love that. What's your favourite resource on employee ownership?
Resource? The community.
Yeah.
So I've got lots of EO people that we've met, some that I've helped, some that have helped me. And the community is just so supportive. There's probably 20 people I could pick up the phone to, get straight through them and say, you know what, I've got an issue. How do you deal with that? And they tell me.
That's a win. Okay. And then finally, what would you say to a business owner who's sitting on the fence about a transition to an employee-owned model?
Well, tell me the reason not to.
Yeah.
You know, because if you value your people, and if you value legacy, and if you want your business to live on beyond you, then you need a sustainable model. And out of all of the options, only EO gives you that. That's why you should choose it.
Brilliant. Andrew, thank you so much for joining. Where can people go if they want to learn more about Union Industries? What follow you?
Yeah, they can follow me. There's I don't know where you follow me. I'm not tech savvy. We've got a website. We've got LinkedIn things that happen. And I just bounce out of a box every once in a while in a particularly alarming shirt and talk rubbish with people.
Well, good. Well, you fit in really well around here. But thank you very much for joining us on the Alternative
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, mate.